Wait a minute. Sit down, John. Sit down, Kenzie.
Go sit down. Sit down next to Pop. There you go.
All right. I think I'm live, but I don't see this picture, so I got to do something around here to make it come on. Let's do it. How are we doing this? All right, there we go. Come on back in this picture. So I want to say this. Turn around. Lennox, look. So there is absolutely nothing better than family and nothing better than grandkids. And I'm sitting here with three of mine. I have Mr. Lennox Hayes Posey sitting in the middle, trying to grab my phone. Kai Posey, he's sitting right here. What? Kinsley, wave at him, Kinsley. Kinsley, you got to say hi. Hi, Kinsley Osby. And where's Kobe Hampton? Where is he? You got to come over here and get on the picture. I know he's big, so he didn't really want to get in the picture. So these are my four grandkids, and be still. I know you don't want to be still. It's okay. It's all right. It's okay. I'm talking. But anyway, hey, it's In the Black with Bob Dickerson. Just checking you guys out. We're actually on a family vacation. You see, my wife is Marquita is sitting behind me. She doesn't normally get on the picture, and Kinsley, I think, is leaving. Yeah, you gonna leave me? You gonna leave me? But I would just say this, guys and ladies. There is absolutely nothing better than family, nothing better than being able to have some family time. And even when the 3-year-olds, I got 2 3-year-olds and a 10-month-old. Is he 10? Yeah, 10-month-old in my lap. And so, but I have a 12-year-old. He's very well behaved. Very well behaved. So anyway, I'm gonna pass the kids over. I'm gonna hand him off, and I'm gonna hand you off to Kai. And bye, Kinsley. See you, Kobe. Dap me up. There you go. So anyway, sitting obviously on a beach. I like my little straw fedora. I hope you like it. You know, this was actually, I thought it was going to be a big debate as to whether or not I was going to be able to wear this. But you agreed.
I mean, it's a straw hat.
Okay,
so
you agreed that I could wear it. All right. So anyway, we got that going. You know, I really want to come on sometimes to not talk about issues that are happening in the world, but boy, there's so many things that happen when if you just get, like I do, a news feed on your phone, then you get all of this stuff, and you really can't get away from it. Whether you're on vacation or whether you have sworn off, I mean, to swear off information, you really literally have to put your phone down, make sure that you don't watch any TV, make sure that you just kind of isolate yourself. What's up, Renata? You got to make sure you do that because you there's no way in the world that you're going to be able to miss some of the things that are happening. And so, regardless of what I thought about talking about today, it's really difficult not to talk about the 8 people who were killed by a gunman in San Jose, California earlier this morning. And what that speaks to, there are a couple of things in my opinion. It speaks to the fact that we have not addressed the mental deficiencies, the situations that allow people to use guns indiscriminately, the kinds of things and treatment that they obviously have needed for a long time before, the thing that triggered this. And we've let this real gun violence get out of control, in my opinion. I think that a country like America, with the resources that we have, with the brains that we have, hasn't really put our our feet to the fire. We haven't put, our emphasis on really trying to end this kind of activity. And it's devastating for somebody to, work and just, be there innocently doing what it is that they do on a daily basis, to be in danger. And it almost puts you in a position to feel like you can't go anywhere, like you don't want to go anywhere. I mean, even, people do have to go to work. And these were people who are essential workers. And we don't know what happened. I mean, the story is so fresh. And, I guess I quit listening to it maybe a couple of hours ago. So there may be some updates that I'm not aware of. But the point is, it's happening all too often. And it's kids getting killed at school, people getting killed at movie theaters, random violence, and people killing people they really don't know, that they didn't have any grievance with. And so it's really sad. So, we're praying for the folks in San Jose. We're praying for those families of the people who were killed, even the people who weren't. The kind of post-traumatic stress that, comes about after incidents like this, we overlook. And we do have a mental health crisis in our country. We're overlooking a lot of the causes and things like that, add to the crisis. So, it's difficult to sit here and maybe talk about things that I want to talk about, but without acknowledging the fact that happened last night. So the playoffs, the NBA, Lakers, my team, the Lakers, one piece with Phoenix. That's going to end up being, man, Dallas has jumped on top and got a couple of games. That, I'm a real sports fan, as all of you know. My sports pecking order, like football first, college football, then I think the NFL, and then basketball, probably NCAA tournament and the NBA, tournament, the NBA playoffs. That's my basketball stuff. So I'm into it now, trying to watch it down here. Got my couple of son-in-laws are out with us, so they're big time basketball fans. I think they could probably name, half the roster on all the teams in the NBA. I used to be that guy, but I'm certainly not him anymore. Playoffs are going on, so I'm happy about that. So a couple of things, serious things that I want to cover before we get out of here today. Number one, I want you to go on YouTube or go online, and I want you to listen to Elizabeth Warren when she was questioning Jamie Dimon of J.P. Morgan Chase. And she was asking him about the overdraft fees that his bank charges people. Now get this. If you overdraw your account, you pay a fee. $20, $30, $40. But that's a lot of money. And contrast that with this fact that people overdraw because they really don't have a lot of money. Wrote a check or wrote several checks that exceed the balance that they had in the bank. Overdrawing an account is typically, and sometimes it's a mistake and oversight, but it's typically somebody who's juggling to make ends meet. But that same person who's juggling to make ends meet gets charged an extremely high fee, and they were already struggling. So what banks are doing when they charge these overdraft fees is they're actually adding to your struggle. They're not, and I don't know what it costs to handle your overdraft. I mean, I'm not going to get into that. Yeah, I'm sure it may cost something because they've got personnel, but it shouldn't cost more to handle an overdraft than to pay a check. And so the penalty that we are passing on to consumers for overdrafts might be just a little bit too high. In fact, most of the bank regulators have warned against, have cautioned against, have spoke out against charging that much for overdrafts and using overdraft fees to fuel the bottom line profits of a bank. So she asked them, I want you to listen to it. You know, she's pretty cagey. So she asked this question. She says, how much did your bank collect in 2020? Remember, 2020 is the year of COVID. It's the year people were struggling. It's the year businesses were struggling. Individuals were struggling. People got laid off. How much did your bank make off of overdraft fees? Well, when you see the video, you'll see that Jamie Dimon tries to dodge that question. He doesn't want to answer that question at all. But she has the number. And the number is something like close to $1.5 billion. Now get this. I mean, I hadn't checked it. You can look at the video. $1.5 billion off overdraft fees. Man, that sounds really sinister when you think about it. You know, that doesn't sound right. $1.5 billion off fees charged to people who likely didn't have the money, who likely were struggling a bit financially. That's why they overdrew. And you make $1.5 billion, and you make that $1.5 billion in a year when your bank's profit was over $20 billion. So did you really need that $1.5 billion? Could you have done these folks a solid and maybe not charged them? You know, could you perhaps refund the overdraft fees you charged in 2020 when the economy was suffering and people were suffering? Could you think about doing something like that, Chase and other banks? So this is one of it's a symbol of what is happening in our country, because we have people who are struggling, and the more you struggle, the more you get dumped on. The folks that are struggling and they get an overdraft, these are the folks that get dumped on. These folks that have to pay. I was at a Rainbow Push conference, and I was on a panel several years ago, and a young man did make this statement, and he said basically that he had graduated from college, and he had student loans, and he didn't have a lot of money. And thanks, Bruno. He didn't have a lot of money, and so because he was sort of poor and didn't have money and didn't have a high credit score, that everything cost him more. So what we're doing in this country with payday lending, that's 465%, with the total note car people who can't maybe get financed through normal channels, with furniture rentals where you're paying for it and you're going to never own it. We are penalizing people for being poor as opposed to trying to help them. That is what America has become. Whatever y'all think about it, that is what America has become. We penalize the poor people for being poor, and that's sad. So you see, I got company again. So say hi, Kai. Say hi. Kinsley, you want to say hi?
Hi.
Okay. All right.
Hi.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Hi.
Okay. Don't come over there. All right. Yep. All right. Okay. So a couple other things I want to get at before I get here. This woman, this Marjorie Taylor Greene, who, I don't know. I mean, she just says whatever comes up comes out with her. I'm just, I don't think that she really thinks a lot about what she's saying, because many of her statements since the campaign and since getting in Congress don't make any sense. When you look at the fact, and they have spoke out against her finally. I think it took the Republican leadership 5 days to actually say anything about her. 5 days to say something, and comparing Nancy Pelosi, Adolf Hitler, is basically what she did. To talk about the fact that this sounded like something they did and making people wear, paint, or I mean, this is really silly and ludicrous, and pretty much all of it un-American. I mean, so these QAnon kind of folks, this current Republican Party is kowtowing to and won't speak out against. I don't get it. Well, I get it. You just want to win an election. But I don't get it because I thought even folks that I disagreed with on political issues and policy issues, that they were patriotic Americans who wanted the best for the country, not just to win an election. And this is what you have become, Republicans. And I really hope it bites you. I hope it really, it really gets you. Because nothing that she and others, she is not alone. She's certainly not alone. I mean, this farce of an audit, and I think I heard some people in Arizona, I heard people call it a fraudit. I thought that was actually that was accurate. This fraudulent audit by some fringe people, to try to continue to cast doubt in the minds of voters and the minds of citizens, is not doing anything to benefit this country and benefit its people. And so I would love it if I don't know, I'm sure I have some Republican friends. So I would love it if my Republican friends would think about the country that they say they love, and think about what the actions and words of people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, what the actions of these folks out in Arizona who are auditing or frauditing an election that was, by all reports, the safest, fairest, and most accurate ever. Had too many eyes on it to be anything else. From the folks in Georgia and other states who have said that, wow, too many Black and brown people are voting, so now suppress their vote so we can win with our people, as opposed to trying to win these people over by enacting policies and having platforms and is on the issue. They favor these folks. They favor Black and brown and women and poor and urban and rural, because the rural folks, they may not get it. Why isn't that your approach? But your approach is to say, well, let's make sure that these folks can't vote, and then maybe we can win and we don't have to change anything. It is utterly ridiculous. I mean, I cannot think of anything that is more ridiculous than that. So I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna get out, because I always have to, come back to where we are. And I was just thinking about all of the things that we're doing to identify racism and hopefully combat it. And we're losing. Okay, I just want to make sure and you don't think that we're winning. And we're not winning this battle against racism, because when you bring it up, even in a conversation, then the racists start to push back about even talking about it. And so there is no way that we're ever going to fix the problem that we have that is plaguing our country unless we're willing to, number one, admit we have a problem, and number two, be open to hear various and varying and differing opinions about how to fix it. And you hear from me. Now, I also have to listen to you, but you have to hear from me. The biggest problem that we're having in trying to fix racism in America, so that we don't have the we had, I guess this is the 1 year anniversary of the death of George Floyd. So we don't have the policing problem. We don't have Black people having to be in fear of the police, or knowing, not thinking, knowing that policing in their community different. And it's different based on who the police is and what the policies of that department are. It shouldn't be different. Policing shouldn't be different. We got to defeat racism so that we can truly have equal opportunity. If you tell me we have equal opportunity, I'll tell you you're lying. We do not have equal opportunity in America. A lot of the inequality is based on this. It's based on skin color. It's not based on aptitude. It's not based on work ethic. It's based on where you were born, what you look like, based on your race, and based on your station in life. And your station is often accompanied by your race. We live in a country where your opportunities have more to do with your zip code than with your intellect. We've got to change that. And the only way we can change it is we have to confront and we have to defeat this sickness, racial sickness. What it is. It's sickening. It's America and brown. We are diminished in the world's eye because gotta people have ownership, equity, and the interest in our country forward. Check you out next week. This is Bob Dickerson with In the Black.